Well, it's time for another edition of Voices. It's 2 minutes after 11 o'clock, and Jamsta is sitting in for Socrates. It's Wednesday, July 26th, and I'm hoping we can have some engaging conversations today, as I'll try to table some issues in the news and issues of note, with the hope that you will weigh in, comment, ask questions, discuss, debate, agree, disagree. That's good too. Our sponsors for the first half are TDC, Flow, and Ramps. And of course, if you happen to be if you're listening to us via radio, of course, the frequency is 98.9 FM. And perhaps you want to listen to us and you don't have access to a radio. It's nice to know that we are streaming on Twitter. You just search for WINNMedia SKN on Twitter, Voices, and you'll get that. Also on YouTube, of course, WINNMedia SKN. We're also streaming on Twitch, WINNMedia SKN, and of course the WinFM website proper, WINNmediaskn.com. So let's hear from our sponsors, and I have a few audio clips I want to play to generate some discussion. I already have calls coming in, so if after the commercial break the phone is ringing, I'll take those calls, and at some point when it's opportune, I'm gonna play the clips that I wanted to cable.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust to secure your investment. You need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
Flow Road to Home is life made simple. One affordable plan that gives you internet at home and mobile on the go. Constant connection anywhere and everywhere, wherever your plans may take you. Switch today and get double the data on your mobile with 60 gigs plus unlimited WhatsApp and YouTube and 400 megabits per second internet speed. Flow Road to Home internet and mobile plan. Your non-stop connection. Visit a Flow store or discoverflow.co for more info. Conditions apply.
Basta! We run things are on we. Basta! Basta! Living color, do it differently. Basta! Basta! Lads and in charge, like for the party. Basta! Basta! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste. Basta! Bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Basta! Live in full color.
Basta!
And we are back. It's 7 minutes after 11 o'clock. As I move to get voices on the road, so I'm going to go straight to the phone line. So everyone has a provisional 30 seconds. Provisional means that if there's no one calling, I might let you speak. But I really need to rein in the long-windedness that sometimes happens here on Voices. So provisional 30 seconds. Try and marshal your thoughts and put them out there as briefly as possible. Let's go. Voices, you're on the air.
Good morning, Jamsta.
Oh, hi. Good morning.
How are you, man?
I'm good.
Jamsta,
Yeah.
I want to focus. I don't know if you would permit me, but, whenever you're ready, you can just let me know. I don't want to take up too much, but I want to bring something new to the listeners' ears. Jamsta, follow me on this here, right? Now, I want to talk about creation. Creation in its totality. Now, what we have, or what we know in creation is that creation is associated with God, in the sense that man have associated creation with God. But what we really have here, Jamster, follow me on this. We have four intelligent elements of nature: earth, wind, fire, water, that we breathe. Now, creation is intelligent. Life is alive. Life gives life. To tell me in the scripture that, and I would so much want to refrain from using the word God, but let us go according to how we were taught. God created heaven and earth in all its creation. But bear in mind, James, that I'm saying to you that man have associated creation with a God. But what we have, life is alive, and life gives life. The universe is alive, cosmology and ecology is alive. Now, the earth is the embodiment of the divine, and I'm not going to use the word God, Jamster. The earth is the embodiment of the divine, a duality of two intelligent beings that harmonized together and created life. Life emerged from life, Jamster. Because many parts in the scripture that says, there is no God beside me. Again, this is what man have associated creation with. But Jamster, who have seen the mind of the divine? The earth, we are on earth, planet earth. We feel the wind, we cannot see it. So, we feel the wind, we cannot touch it. We see water, water is life. Fire, the S-U-N, without the S-U-N, nothing births forth. The earth is a living entity. Again, I am saying to the Christian community, Jamster, and the listening public, we need to refocus our education on what man have standardized in associating creation with a God. Jamster, I grew up in this system. I am saying to our people today, we need to move away from it, because now look at what they're having. If I was to come to you, Jamster, and I bring a contraption, and I said to you, Jamster, I have created this out of your absence. In your absence, I created this, and I bring this to you, a contraption, and it is alive. Would you believe that I created it, Jamster? Your eyes behold what is before you. You look up at morning, you see the S-U-N. You look up at night, you see the moon, you see the stars. Your eyes behold these things. We are on the planet Earth. But to tell me that to associate creation with God, and this God is invisible, Jamster, that is a fallacy. That is a fallacy, and we have swallowed this wholesale. It is time for us to raise our vibration, be in line with nature, as the scripture says, and again, I am not trashing the book, but we have to look beyond what was written by man, because man have associated creation with a God, a myth, a God out there in the sky that we pray to, and we've been praying for how long now, Jamster? I am saying raise your vibration, be in tune with nature, become alkaline with what the Creator has provided. When I say Creator, Jamsta, I am referring to the divine intelligence that has given us everything in all the earth. We are under a system, we are in a system of economics, again, created by a set of people who want to have power over the majority or the masses. Jamsa, I don't know if you're following what I'm saying. But we need to wake up, because your eyes are your market. Your eyes behold what is before you. When Moses went to Pharaoh, Pharaoh said, who is this invisible God? Who is this invisible God that I should obey him? Now, we are all in our space. By that I mean, Jamster, you know what applies to you as I know what applies to you. Come out of 3D and arise your vibration to a higher consciousness and be in alignment with nature. And you can walk through the valley of death, Jamster, and you shall fear no evil. Get out of 3D and go into 5D, 5 dimension. Jamster, this is powerful, but I know our people are not ready for it. But I said to you, try and listen to what I'm saying, Jamster. Your eyes behold what is before you, and to tell me that God created without a witness. And look at what we're moving into now. We're going into artificial intelligence, Jamster. And in all the intelligence and technology, I'll say this and I'm going to finish now. There are those who are intelligent, and there is wisdom. Wisdom is superior to intelligence, Jamster. Know who you are and know where you come from and know your purpose as to why you're here on this planet. And then you would see that what man has standardized and associated creation with a God, a myth that we've been praying to for generations upon generation. It is high time for us to move away from that misery. Thank you for hearing me, Jamster. I'll call back here later with something else.
Okay, nice. Okay, so that's our opening batsman. Let's. This is a good time to take a break. It's 11:15. Let's hear from our sponsors, and when I come back, I'm gonna play a clip. We've been following the snafu disagreement with the you could say the State Departments of Jamaica and the U.S. Vis-a-vis a same-sex diplomat that wanted to take their so-called spouse to Jamaica, and the spat that ensued. So there's further development to that story. So I want to play the clip when I come back, and then I have another clip I need to share with you guys as well. And like I said, when the time presents itself, I'll present it and see if it generates discussion. But let's get a word from our sponsors.
You found the sound 98.9 FM.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food
Flow Road to Home is life made simple. One affordable plan that gives you internet at home and mobile on the go. Constant connection anywhere and everywhere, wherever your plans may take you. Switch today and get double the data on your mobile with 60 gigs plus unlimited WhatsApp and YouTube and 400 megabits per second internet speed. Flow Road to Home internet and mobile plan. Your non-stop connection. Visit a Flow store or discoverflow.co for more info. Conditions apply.
Enjoy the convenience of getting all your documents in one place. At the TDC Copy and Print Center on 4th Street in Basse-Terre, we do just that. We offer document formatting, graphic design, and copy and print services. Our team of professionals truly understand all your needs, whether it be administrative, professional, academic, or personal. You bring it, we deliver it with quality every time. Visit the TDC Copy and Print Center today in the TDC Mall on 4th Street in Basse-Terre or call 465-2511. Your copy and print specialists are waiting to serve you.
And we're back on Voices. It's 19 minutes after 11 o'clock. Let's go straight back to the phones. Caller, you're on it. Okay, so let's try this. Caller, you're on the air. Go right ahead. Voices.
Yes, good day. Youngster,
Hey.
that caller, I'm always intrigued. He don't make a lot of good points, but it's something I'm a little confused with. I know he loves Africa and everything. But my thing is, from my experience, almost all of the Africans that I ever speak with and have a conversation with, I realized and I found out immediately that there seems to feel they are the only African and they are the true black people from my conversation and my research. Now, what I want to know, sometimes the last caller, he make it sound so easy that you can go to Africa, you can set up business, and you can buy lands and whatnot. So what I would like the caller to call back and enlighten me or educate me. Let's say I want to go to Africa. I go to the airline, I buy a ticket and head to Africa. When I land, when I come in off the aircraft, I go to immigration. Now, what do I tell the immigration when I get there in order for me to get a welcome stay and in order for me to actually get permission to live in Africa or set up business as a citizen? What do I tell immigration? What should I tell immigration? Because he make it sound so easy. You know, you go Africa and it's a nice place and you can set up shops and so on. I would just like to know the procedure, because from what I read about Africa and all the history, I'm here wondering why are all the African leaders treat black people the way they treat them? Why they treat the masses that way? I mean, they treat their own like, you know, and they treat foreigners even better than their own. I mean, like, their own Africans, they don't have any rights, and they want to be in power forever, and they want to take care of all the wealth. I mean, I just want that caller to explain to me what will cause me to love to go to Africa. What will cause me to want to go to Africa and set up shop?
Yes, but the thing is, Africa is a big place, and there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of seemingly contradictory stuff going on. Everything you said is true, but also if you look up, take for example, go to YouTube and look for Ruto. He's the President Ruto. He is look for some of his speeches and his interactions with Western journalists and so on. There's Ruto. There's Museveni. He's the president.
I know what you're talking. I know.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
you have some.
I'm asking.
What I'm saying, you have some shining lights and you have the bad eggs, obviously, and so we can't throw out the baby with the bad water. Everything
So
you're
you
saying.
just name some names. So I'm
Yeah.
asking you now, Jamsta.
Yeah.
If I want to go to Africa, what part of Africa should I go, or what part I shouldn't go? I hope you understand what I'm
Yeah, I
saying.
understand what you're saying, but take for
because
example.
what I'm hearing, what I'm reading, what I'm researching is totally different. So I like you or the caller to tell me what will encourage me to go and call which part of Africa should I go and set up shop if I want to set up shop.
Okay, but take for example, a lot of us we migrate to the United States, Canada, the UK. Those countries have their good and their bad, but you don't hear anyone saying what you're saying about those countries. I'm
agreeing with you.
Right?
I am agreeing with you.
but
for what I heard about the US is bad and they're well bad, yes. But you have a little more freedom than a lot of those other African countries, and I'm just wondering why. That's what I'm saying. I'm not bashing nobody, you know.
No, you're not. I know you're not. But I know
Huh?
you're not. I know you're not actually. But this ties into the controversial discussion we were having yesterday on Island Tea. You know, I was accused of being racist, but this goes to the problem. The problem is that the white supremacist system has always been. They've been hard at work. After screwing things up in Africa for centuries, they've been hard at work for the last few decades, undermining undermining Africa's chances to flourish and grow. So that's part of the problem, because what they do, they use the greed of a lot of these bad egg leaders in Africa to their advantage, right? So therefore,
we need to get that clean up.
Right, but you see, very slowly, you see it changing. You see, like I said, you see people like Kagame from Rwanda. Some of these people who I'm very impressed with, Mr. Ruto, who just took over from Kenyatta.
I'm impressed with some of them too.
Yes, right. And you hear them speak, and you can say, okay, let's give them a chance. The same way I do here. I mean, the Labour government that we just have. Like I said, give them a chance to see what happens. They sound good.
The problem the problem I'm experiencing is that it's all good, what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a large majority of black people seems to be sided with the aggressors. I mean, I have a problem. Even when you look at slavery, I mean, the white man did what he did, but he was assisted in a great part, with the black folks too. I mean, the black people assisted the white in doing what they did. It's not just the white man alone. So I'm all confused. I mean, reading my history and so on and going back, I'm a little bit confused.
Actually not.
Because
It's
we
actually
were told by the white, by black.
It's not confusing, really. If you understand human nature, you understand what's going on, and you can probably figure out a way to navigate, some of these problems, right? No, you can also look on YouTube. On YouTube, there are many videos of African Americans who have moved to Ghana, Tanzania. There are a couple channels I follow. There's this dude. What's his name? There's a channel called Redirected, run by a female, very conscious female. She posts a lot of great videos. There's the African Diaspora channel. There's this, oh God, what's the name of his channel again? And I watch his stuff all the time. He spends a lot of time in Africa. He has land and businesses in Tanzania, Ghana, Mozambique.
Yeah, it's just that I feel much more safer. I feel 100%, 8% more safer living in St. Kitts than for me to take up my good self and go to Africa, because, it's just how I feel. It's just maybe I'm looking at the wrong channel. I'm looking at the wrong history.
You just have to remember.
Safe at all. A lot of places in Africa.
No, but Africa is a huge country. Do you know Africa? Listen, the United States of America can fit United States of America and Europe can fit into Africa and have space left over.
So that's why I would like the caller to tell me
Right?
which
So-
part of Africa
so that's-
should I be willing
it's
or
very-
happy to go. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
it's very reductionist to say that Africa is unsafe because
Okay.
I don't know if you know.
So yeah.
I don't know if you know, for example, that Ghana extended they extend citizenship to any one of us in the diaspora who wants to move there. Did you know that?
But do you know, Jam's question, do
They
you
have
know
a year of
any
returning.
Kittian who have given that privilege to who went to Africa and they being afforded that privilege where they can set
Well,
up shops and so on?
I don't know if any.
You see,
of
like
any
facts, man, like somebody just
Yeah.
to give me a wide, to make a statement and make it so wide.
I don't know.
Do you know of any Kittian?
I don't know.
on the
I
John?
don't know of any petition, but that's neither here nor there because that doesn't mean it's not possible. I mean,
I know, I agree.
Yeah, mhm.
But I need.
They
some
very
facts
well
behind
might.
it
They
too. I
very
need
well
some
might
facts.
be. Okay, and let me take another
And they
call.
can
You
come
can
and-
always call
Yeah,
back,
okay,
but
no problem.
good. Yeah, good conversation.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, great. Okay, nice convo. Voices. Okay, that person. Hopefully that person will call back. So yeah. Let's go back to the phones. Voices, you're on the air.
Jamsta,
Hey.
good morning.
Hey, what's up?
I think the gentleman that just called is looking controversy.
You think so?
Is he saying that St. Kitts belongs to us? You know how...
Actually, no, I didn't see it that way. I guess he genuinely wanted to know if I know of any Kittians on the Vision.
It doesn't seem so. But,
Okay.
there are no Chinese in Jamaica who now telling to Jamaicans that the language is not theirs and Jamaica doesn't belong to them. So where do we fit in from the Caribbean? Because
Exactly.
I mean, are we saying that we're Kittians just
Yes.
by virtue of us being born here?
Yes, but I'm racist when I draw attention to these things.
And
Thank
every
you.
other person, every other race that come here, they have just the same amount of rights as us. So where do we belong as a black?
And as far as I'm concerned, they shouldn't, because of
Right.
the difference in the historical power dynamic. They should not.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right, and he also has to take into consideration the cultural aspect. It's a big issue. It's not even something to be just easily dismissed like how he's beginning to sound. Instead of bigging up the caller before him, who's trying to bring an awareness of ourselves, our ancestral heritage, and the power that lies within ourselves. But I'll continue to listen.
Yes. Let's take another call. Voices. Let's go to this. Voices, you're on the air.
Yes, Jamsa.
Hey.
We're here again.
Okay.
Now, to the caller who is questioning as to why should he go to Africa, let me say this to him, caller. I would not suggest to you to take a flight on your own to go to Africa. Why? There are illicit characters on the continent who know that you are from the diaspora. Do not go unless you have contact already. Now, I said that there are legitimate institutions that you can link to. I'm going to put it out there again, Jamster. For the caller who is questioning, you just go and type in ADDI.org. ADDI stands for Africa Diaspora Initiative. If you want to go to the continent, you can go there and get the information. You can also invest your money without putting your foot on the continent in whatever area you choose. Now, there's a gentleman in America by the name of Ashwick Crazy. He do tours from America to the continent. You can also link up there. Do not take it on yourself to go there and ask immigration or whoever, because they would mislead you, misguide you, and they would con you. Why this is happening? You were giving explanation. Colonization. You have to understand that we are in a system of it, them against us. If Africa remain in poverty, America, Europe, Canada, England will survive. This is what I'm trying to tell our people. Now, the earth belongs to us.
Okay, we have another caller. So how about You can call in as many times as you want, but see, I have 2 calls, you know.
Okay,
So,
Jamsta,
yeah,
but I
okay.
just want the caller
Yeah,
to
absolutely. Yeah.
get out
Okay.
of the misery.
Okay.
Let-
Caller, go right ahead. I'm really trying to take
good
for you to
morning,
take the
Jamsta.
calls, yeah, in a timely fashion. Go ahead.
Listen, what I would like, you hear me, right?
Yeah, I'm hearing you good.
Yeah, what I would like to say to the first caller, because he started out something about we have to pray, we have to look to our natural inheritance or what surrounds us, and this invisible God that we've been praying to is basically fruitless. We're not making any progress when we do that. But I would like to say to the caller that this earth was created with a purpose in mind. It wasn't randomly created. And I'll put this out to this caller because this is things that I have pondered deeply. If our God, which is the invisible God, the true God, created the whole universe, why he who is known to be all-knowing and intelligent would cast down an evil being on the earth and then sometime later create man on the earth, knowing that man would be simple and this evil being would tempt us and throw the earth into a mess? That's the first question. Once you understand the reasons for this earth, then you would understand the purpose for life. This earth is created as a testing ground because after a person dies, there is life after death, whether you believe it or not. How you govern yourself on the earth, and that is why we have so many different temptations and so many different things. Watch, this earth is so evil. Let me tell you why. Can you imagine a telephone, the latest telephone, which would be whichever the Samsung is, and the latest television, which requires more material to construct a television and less material to construct a phone? You will find a phone sometimes costing more than a television. A little watch, a Rolex watch, could cost as much as a vehicle or even more. So the imbalance is set and is a system that man has created.
But actually, there's an engineering reason for that. Miniaturization is expensive. No, not to contradict your point, but I just wanted to say that's a big part of why sometimes these things cost so much, because reducing the size of and the footprint of some of these components is why some of these things cost more money. But yeah, I get your point.
But the material itself is so okay. You call black sand something very highly used in a lot of the smartphone equipment, smart television. It's a scarce commodity, but it requires more than material to construct. It requires more material to construct the chip. But I understand a little bit what you're saying. Look at the medicine, for example. You'll find that medicine, the latest medicine, which they have a treatment for cancer, Israel created it. It costs $30,000 for that one tablet. And the imbalance there, and then you have the natural things out there. But also to the caller, and I'll be brief on this one. He must understand that when man was created, God created man and woman at the same time as spirits, male and female, according to the Genesis chapter 7, Genesis. The first chapter in Genesis, I think is the second. And then later he went on and created them in the natural. And then later on he separated the woman from the man. So man was a spirit first walking in the earth before he created them, a natural being. If you study the whole Genesis, you will see God is invisible. And the Bible said that those who worship him must worship him in the spirit and in truth, not in the natural. Our Lord Jesus Christ came in the natural, in the flesh, because to reveal himself and to reveal the invisible part of the Father to man. But I don't want the Christian people out there to become confused, because there's a lot of ignorance out there. And whenever I hear these kind of things, it stimulates me to call in and to give my input. Basically, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Yeah, that was a nice way. And actually didn't realize, if I'm reading him correctly, he's saying that we were actually spirit beings before we became fleshly beings. Interesting. Okay. Voices, you're on the air. Okay, let's go to the next call. Voices, you're on.
Hey, good morning, Jamsta. How are you doing?
Hi, good morning. I'm good. You?
Good morning, Journey. So you're in a journey, boy. You're going down a dark path. You're not very interested in the things he comes up with.
Yeah, but...
And I know the foundation. Take a look at Psalm 2. It says, why do the heathen rage? What the heathen? And the people imagine a vain thing. The kings of the earth and the people set themselves against the Lord and against his anointed. He said, he who sits in the heaven shall laugh. So God is not upset, surprised, dismayed when we deny him. Now, let me start again. Yesterday was my first granddaughter's birthday. It's a good news, you know? And I want to wish her a happy belated birthday. And may you live to enjoy life and to be a joy to somebody and to make your contribution to the nation. We want nation builders. You know, I said to myself, you know, sometimes all of us, well, not all of us of dark skin or whatever, we have African descent. But we have this thing, we're looking away from where we are. We have CARICOM. What effort is being made and put into CARICOM? They say you have to dance a yard before you dance abroad. There's a lot that all of us can do to promote unity among ourselves, even in our country. We focus in Africa deserves our attention, but not everything we have. We got to first learn to love ourselves in St. Kitts in the Caribbean. Our Caribbean brethren come here, and we show disdain. So we do what we have to do here, and then we hope. I suppose since you ain't going to heaven, Africa must be your heaven. Now, the thing you talk about Jamaica and the USA.
Yeah.
At some point, somebody has to stand up to the USA.
I have the clip to play now, actually. So,
Yes, you're going to play it.
Uh-huh.
At some point, and it is happening among a lot of different Caribbean countries, even the UK colonies, when they go and pass things in the house and say, well, you must do it. The people say, no, that is not our culture. So it is for us as a people to stand behind our leaders who are bold enough to stand up and declare, because they will draw back, you know. If you don't do anything, people continue to walk over you. But if you show some resistance, that is what is needed. Resistance is needed. So that's what I'm so good. Happy birthday to my granddaughter, my first granddaughter.
Okay.
And my friend Journey, I am here laughing, you know. I feel like God. He said, he that sits in the heaven shall laugh. God shall hold them in derision. All of you who don't know the Bible, pick up the Bible in Psalm 2. Let us cast off. We got to cast off this thing. He says so. The heathen say, let's cast off this thing. Let us break any control over us from God. And he does sit down there and laugh. Laugh. So God is having a big laugh this morning. So those of you who call yourselves Christians, you don't got to worry about God. God can take care of himself. And all the elements that he mentioned, they did not come from themselves. And we talk about the African creation. Let them discuss that. There is a God, dear God Me'at. Ask him, where is he? Where is she? You know? So you don't have to discredit one to make yours look real. So I am glad that you are learning. But remember, wisdom is the beginning of wisdom, not knowledge. Is the fear or the reverence for God. When you cast off the reverence for the true God, knowledge just becomes superficial. We will be fed anything. And I noticed something, you know, after the COVID, get a lot of conspiracy theories, a lot. And the same attitude of mine continues today. Oh, there was no COVID, they had no COVID, this and the that and the that and the that. Eh? We don't even reason. They had none. Well, what happened? What was it? We get to the point where who do what? Of course, anybody who knows history know what Europe did. But we got to shake off this victim mentality and put on the I can and I will.
But no.
Are we going to live forever as victims?
But Ms. Henry,
Yes.
I've always had a problem with this notion
Victim mentality?
of this notion that people have a victim mentality.
It is.
If I walk, no. If I walk down the road and someone does something to me that's egregious and really harmful to me, and I talk about it because it continues to affect me, how is that a victim mentality? And maybe I'm trying to get reparations. I'm trying to get redress. How is that a victim mentality?
The demand for reparation is something positive we're doing.
Exactly.
Not just balling. Oh, they do. Look, we have leaders,
Well,
leaders.
no, Miss Henry, I have to disagree because here's why. Here's why. Listen, look at what the governor of Florida has been trying to do. Basically trying to. I mean, basically Fahrenheit. Basically, the book Fahrenheit is Fahrenheit 441. I always forget the number. What number?
What the black people doing?
The Robert Heinlein novel that talked about the burning of books because the government thought that books were
but
all
I'm
the worst.
Again, so what are we doing?
No. So what I'm saying is
we got to
can't
take action.
You can't claim victim mentality if we are trying. If we are trying to teach everyone about all of the atrocities that took place.
The question you ask. You see the question you ask, my
friend. And then you have another constituency is trying to say no, we can't teach these things because it's, for example, it's going to make white people. It's going to make white people uncomfortable.
You ask the question: what action are we taking if all we're doing is balling?
Well, I feel like there's a nice basket of actions underway right now. Reparations, trying to get history, both good and bad, actually taught in schools.
That is something, and all of us must get behind it.
Trying to do for self.
That is it.
Trying to change the culture.
What are we doing to build up St. Kitts?
I
tell you, we ignoring the Caribbean, Latin America. We ignoring and we got to stop the balling and get into action. As you say, we go in Africa, we go in Rio. You say you could go Ghana. Ask my good friend, Ghana has changed because they don't want people flooding the place. And they don't want people coming who is not going to add to the economy.
But obviously, we're not talking about just getting up willy nilly and moving to some African country.
What are we doing for St. Kitts?
It talks about the people who have the wherewithal and the people who have the desire, having a deliberate plan on how they're going to repatriate.
But
right?
we got to do it too. Not they and we. What you see, you give me a Motley, right?
Mm-hmm.
They started the CARICOM AU thing. That is action.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
not the balling.
Exactly.
You understand?
Exactly.
We just balling. At least Gaston Brown, as discussing as is, at least he got an African connection. Stop the balling. Get action. Get active. You said you could invest in Africa. Well, right now we need some investment down here to create employment. Why nobody talking about that?
Okay.
You got the money invested here.
Okay.
You ain't got to tell somebody scam me.
Okay, I want to take another call.
All right then, so let us stop the ball.
Oh, sorry about that, Miss Henry. Okay, caller, go right ahead.
JAMsta.
Yes. Please be brief. Yes. There's another call. There's another call right there.
Hello?
There's another call on your tail, so please be brief. Yeah.
When the submarine, when we learn of the submarine that went down.
Yes.
Who saw those 5 people board the submarine? Did they recover the bodies?
No, they didn't recover.
It was all over social media, right?
No,
and many of us believe. We sympathize with those 5 that was lost, according to that story. Did anybody see them board? Now, they show clips of them in the submarine, submerged, right? But the reality is, who saw them when in the submarine? JAMsta, I'm saying this to say that we cannot put anything past the subtlety of the enemy. Now, yes, we are spiritual beings, and it's divine feminine and divine masculine that have reprocreated and created humanity, JAMsta. I am set. And for Mrs. Henry, I'm going to say this respectfully. Don't come on the ear and say, I am going down a dark path. because I am not saying you are going on a dark path. Please refrain from that for me. You and I talk off ear. I'm going to say it on the ear. Do not come and say that I should be an evangelist or I am on a dark path. It is not for you to judge, as I am not judging you. I am saying that life is alive. Life gives life. What we have as the embodiment of the divine is earth. Cosmology, as above, so below in ecology. They are both alive and they give life. We emerge from life. Again, I am saying, Jamsta.
Okay, I have two calls.
God.
I have two calls going now.
Okay, Jamsta.
Okay,
I'll
you can call back,
Yeah.
Caller, please be brief. Go ahead. Hello. Oh, hey, what's up?
I am good. Okay, give thanks to the reasoning so far. You know, this earlier we was listening to members of the consortium alluding to the divide and rule tactics of people in offices, you know, towards members of the farming community. And we iterate upon a reasoning we had last night at Jatu's home. Jatu's the Rastaman who they charged $20,000 yesterday in the court for having the relatives of Herb in his home. A case that has been going on for years. And one of the brethren who were there, Rasmago, from Upper Cairn, he made a sound and say, the Attorney General said that the RCO, the Rastafari, the Organization of Rastafari Community, OIU, supports whatever penalty, whatever move that the government is doing. Well, we want to publicly say, you know, that we are part of the Nyabingi House, universally, including Sinkits. But if the Nyabingi House is a member of the OIU is supposed to be an umbrella of Rastafari, the Baba Shanti, whatever, Nyabingi, whatever. If the OIU, the umbrella, is supportive of anything that is done pressing anyone who uses herb, not just Rastafari, we stand in solidarity with everyone who uses the herb. Tut Munsam, but no matter your age, neither. Yeah? Once you are partakers of the good herb, if there's any confusion going on with the use of the herb, mixing it with whatever, the system can call upon Rastafari to deal with that situation, because we can communicate with people who they cast out, even the mentally ill. They are our people. And if let me go forward to say, if the OIU is in support of anything that is done oppressive to anyone who uses the good herb, we want to say as a Nyabingi Imper, personally, Ras Eli, Semi-Cute, is not part of any organization, any collab that is done pressing anyone who uses the herb. The herb has been free from creation, and it shall continue to be so.
Amen. Okay.
We wanted to make that clear. Blessed Lord.
Okay, cool. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. Let me take this quick commercial break, and I'll come back and play the clip that I've been meaning to play, that Miss Henry also referenced. So, sort of another act in the whole Jamaica-US spat. Let's take a quick break.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
It's Tennessee for me, Tennessee for we. Neighbor, partner, you
Flow Road to Home is life made simple. One affordable plan that gives you internet at home and mobile on the go. Constant connection anywhere and everywhere, wherever your plans may take you. Switch today and get double the data on your mobile with 60 gigs plus unlimited WhatsApp and YouTube and 400 megabits per second internet speed. Flow Road to Home internet and mobile plan. Your non-stop connection. Visit a Flow store or discoverflow.co for more info. Conditions apply.
Buster! We run things are on we. Buster! Buster! Living color, do it differently. Buster! Buster! Large and in charge, like for the party. Buster! Buster! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste. Buster, bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster, live in full color.
Buster!
And we are back, and I've been trying to play this clip for the past past little while. Sort of another chapter in the ongoing saga between the Jamaica and the U.S. Due to the fact that the Americans want to impose their debaucheries on on Jamaica. And Jamaica said, never that. Not today. Ain't happening. We're not trying to give normalization status to same-sex marriage and all that. So here's a clip.
Our country had a secret visit from the U.S. Special Envoy for LGBT rights, Mr. Randy Berry. He was accompanied by the senior LGBT coordinator for USAID, Mr. Todd Larkin, to try and see what the Jamaican climate was regarding sexual rights and how they could influence change. We were able to notify the public about this visit and to send a very clear message to the U.S. government that Jamaica will not be pressured into changing our values and our culture that protects the family.
The Center for Disease Control, in their own research, shared information that 2% of the population of the U.S. are men who have sex with men. And of that 2%, they account for 68% of the HIV infection. And the government of the United States spends $12 billion annually just to take care of that. I actually had to say to them that Jamaica cannot afford to spend that kind of money.
UNICEF was also found to be promoting the sexual pleasure agenda. For example, on page 89 of a UNICEF-published Sexual and Reproductive Health Manual for Pregnant Teens in Mexico, UNICEF listed situations in which one can obtain sexual pleasure that included sexual responses directed towards inanimate objects, animals, minors, and non-consenting persons.
The way they're doing this is to actually penetrate our schools. And so once it changes at the policy level, then we'll probably have no control over what is taught in the schools and who teaches it.
The material was exposed by one individual, and the entire nation got wind. And as a result of it, it had to be withdrawn.
Every well-thinking adult must be vigilant and must stand as a gatekeeper to our children's development.
Band together and find ways to stop it from entering your country.
Yes, so there you have it. That's the latest act in the whole. I have to say thanks to Carl for providing me that clip. Let's go to the phone line, see what's going on here. Caller, go right ahead.
Hey, good morning, sir.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, not much. Some questions.
Cal, please don't tell me that you weren't listening and you're just cold calling me, because I'm not going to have it. I'm not here for it today. I hope you were listening.
No.
Okay, Cal.
Just get out from cutting some grass.
So you don't have a radio that you could have going while you cut grass, Cal?
No, you just don't cut. You'll be using weed eater and blow and thing. You can't.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I do landscaping.
Fair enough. Go ahead. Okay, I didn't realize. Okay, I thought you were like at work.
No.
All right, fair enough. Go ahead.
Yeah. Some questions. At the airport, we, the public, want to know if it's true that the generators are not working at the airport. And at the seaport, we want to know if it's true the generator down there is not working. And if it's true, sometimes on a daily basis, they have to shut down operation because there is no electricity at times at the seaport. And we want to know if it's true that at times, even the airport, just like constituency number 8, don't have water at times. Could somebody ask those questions, please? And why is it that these generators are down?
So you're saying you're saying it's 3 ports. Port Zante, the seaport.
No, not Port Zante. Seaport and airport.
Okay, all right. So that's a port authority issue. So we should probably reach out to them and ask about that, probably.
Yeah, and another issue is there no morals at all now in the federation? Because we talk every day, every night. We are a Christian community, but many people are concerned. What kind of Christian community are we? Because even in the school, the colleges, all the churches is the worst. I mean, people are coming like they're going to the strip club, go dance on the pole.
Okay, we have
they are dressing very sharp.
1 minute to noon, right? So,
yes, very sharp and very situ and very revealing. I mean, everything is revealing. The underwear, the boobs, the butt. Well, I mean, we don't left with no morals at all in the federation. And we boasting every day we're a strong Christian community. But people are coming in these churches almost naked. It's better they go to the strip club and strip and dance. So we want to know where is the moral standard in the federation, especially in the churches.
Okay, and with that, we're gonna yes. Okay, so good questions. We're gonna head to the midday news, and we're gonna return after the news. I have another clip I want to share with you guys as well, so stay tuned. Here comes your headline news. It's 12 o'clock.
You found the sound. 98.9 Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carry Brewery.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International. By land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoy the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
With the WINNFM Midday News, I am Kevon Brown. Our top stories: Agriculture Permanent Secretary briefs CARICOM on the Federation's step to achieving a 25 by 25 goal. Agenda launch set for July 27, 2023. Jehu Kelly charged with multiple counts of robbery and firearm possession. Brent Edwards charged with causing death by dangerous driving. Dominica records third consecutive year of growth, and Morocco to open consulate in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Internationally, the Wall Street Journal reports plans that TikTok will move into e-commerce. Now the details. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis is cementing its commitment to reducing the country's food import bill with the 25 by 2025 agenda launch on Thursday, 27th, 2023 at the Agriculture Conference Room at 10 a.m. The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Marine Resources and Cooperatives said the launch would feature a comprehensive food self-sufficiency and sustainability plan in St. Kitts and Nevis and outline the targets set to significantly to the reduction of the local and regional food import bills. The food import bill for St. Kitts and Nevis is around $200 million, contributing to the region's existing U.S. $6 billion food import bill. Recently, there have been numerous pronouncements in the Federation about the urgent need to transform the country's agricultural sector. The steps to be taken, as many have suggested, are the exporting of quality agricultural produce, reducing importation, boosting agro-processing, and the consumption of local produce. Many are optimistic that once the agricultural industry is transformed, the food import bill will be reduced, the cost of food will lower, the economy will be rebuilt, trade relations will be created, and there will be better nutrition and livelihoods for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture et al., Mr. Miguel Fleming, during a recent CARICOM discussion on the 25 by 2025 agenda, shared some of the programs that exist in St. Kitts and Nevis in support of the reduction of the food import bill and to increase agricultural production.
Some of the things that we're doing, we are looking at, we have this concept that we call Greenhouse Village Initiative, where we construct a number of greenhouses in different parts of the island, and then we basically control what farmers can grow in those greenhouses, because what we have recognized is that even though, there's a need for a unified approach in order to target, the market and to supply these supermarkets and restaurants, hotels consistently, persons still try to deviate. So we believe that, heading in that direction is actually a good way to go by developing, greenhouse villages so we can do some protected agriculture. We are also in the process of procuring additional machinery to mechanize some form of production and to also be able to prepare our lands in a timely manner so farmers can really, target the rainy season. And we are also installing ice machines around the island of St. Kitts and Nevis so fishers can, have access, because our approach is not just crop and livestock production, but we also look at the fisheries sector as well. We are also in the process of expanding our storage capacity, because what we've recognized is that, some crops are ethylene sensitive and other crops might cause other produce to spoil because they might be sensitive to that ethylene. So we are expanding our storage capacity so we can be able to supply the supermarkets consistently, because while we want to increase production, we must be able to have that capacity to store the produce.
In addition, St. Kitts and Nevis, like other Caribbean islands, are experiencing significant drought. So the Ministry and Department of Agriculture are working with other ministries and stakeholders to improve the potable water system. water being a prime resource in ensuring food security. Other initiatives include training so that individuals can learn how to produce goods under protected structures, and feral control programs whereby wild pigs, monkeys, and donkeys are dealt with humanely, despite many complaints by farmers that those pests are wreaking havoc on their farms. Brent Edwards, a police officer, has been charged with the offense of causing death by dangerous driving on July 24th at the Cotton Ground Police Station on Nevis in connection with a hit-and-run that led to the death of Florence Ella Merchant of Hickham's Village, Nevis. The police laid the additional charge against Edwards following his previous charge on July 17th of the offense of failing to immediately stop at the scene of an accident. The offenses were committed on July 15, 2023 in the New River area of Nevis. Edwards was granted bail by District C Magistrate Her Honor Miss Yasmin Clark on July 25th, with two sureties in the sum of $50,000 each. He has been ordered to surrender all travel documents to the court. As a bail condition, Edwards must report to the Charlestown Police Station daily between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. Edwards has also been suspended from active duty pending the outcome of his case. Jehu Kelly, 24 of Gingerland, Nevis, was charged on 6 warrants in connection with the robbery that was committed on July 7th at Lovers Lane, St. Paul's, St. Kitts. Kelly was charged with 4 counts of robbery, 1 count of possession of firearm, and 1 count of possession of firearm with intent to endanger life or cause serious bodily harm at the Sandy Point Police Station on July 24th. On July 25th, Kelly was charged with an additional count of robbery, 1 count of possession of firearm, and 1 count of possession of firearm with intent to endanger life and cause serious bodily harm. The additional offenses were committed on March 11th in Old Road, St. Kitts. In regional news, Dominica records 3rd consecutive year of growth, and Morocco to open consulate in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Carib Update has those reports and more.
Dominica has reported more economic growth in a budget presentation in the island's parliament Tuesday. Minister of Finance Irvin McIntyre is reporting a 3rd consecutive year of growth as the island continues to rebound from the downturn of the COVID period.
Mr. Speaker, the IMF estimates that Dominica's economic grew by 6.9% in 2021 and 5.7% in 2022. This strong performance was mainly due to an increase in construction activity, a rebound in the tourism industry, and a substantial rise in agricultural output. This is indeed a significant achievement, given the lingering effects of COVID-19 and the far-reaching consequences of the Russia-Ukraine war. Growth of roughly 4.7% is projected for 2023, fueled in large part by major ongoing investments in agriculture, tourism, and construction.
Minister McIntyre reported that the building of a new international airport is now well underway. He said there will be extensive work on the project in the next 2 years.
The contractor has mobilized and the works are ongoing on construction of temporary supporting facilities for the workshop and storage, as well as for mixing concrete and asphalt. Over the next 2 years, we will see significant progress. This fiscal year, the continued development of the site will include major earthworks, construction of culverts, and new roads, and the installation of the perimeter fence. Work is expected to begin on the passenger terminal building in August 2024, and the runway, taxiway, and apron in October 2025.
Morocco will soon open a consulate in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to increase its diplomatic presence in the Caribbean. Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves revealed this development following a trip to Rabat, Morocco that ended on Monday. In an interview with the state-run Agency for Public Information, Gonsalves noted that Moroccan officials are scheduled to visit St. Vincent in October to begin the process of getting premises. Gonsalves hailed his visit to Morocco as one of his most successful trips to the kingdom as he was able to build on the long-standing relationship between Morocco and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Prime Minister said he was able to secure deeper cooperation in the fields of agriculture and fertilizer development, tourism training, and more scholarships for Vincentian students to study at some of Morocco's top tertiary education facilities. The Cayman Islands and Barbados have announced direct flights between the two destinations as part of efforts to improve the transportation woes within the region. Tourism Minister Kenneth Bryan, flanked by the Chief Executive Officer of the national airline Cayman Airways, and Barbados' Tourism Minister Ian Goodin Edgehill, who addressed the news conference virtually, said the initiative would begin on October 18. Bryan, who is also chairman of the Barbados-based Caribbean Tourism Organization, described the initiative as a game changer, opening up travel between the islands and the Eastern Caribbean. Bryan said that the new service would make it possible to travel from one side of the Caribbean to the other within the same day without connecting in Miami. Grenada is moving to revise and update its safety at sea regulations, which were initially established in 1990. The island's Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Fisheries and Cooperatives recently concluded what it calls a significant validation workshop on the subject. According to a release from the Government Information Service, the initiative is a collaborative effort between the ministry's Fisheries Division and the Windward Islands Research and Education Foundation, WINDREF, of St. George's University, with funding from the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. The proposed update to the regulations aims to address the evolving nature of the fishing industry and promote safer practices on fishing craft. Veteran Jamaican dancehall entertainer Mad Cobra has been arrested and charged in South Carolina in the United States on cocaine and gun charges. The Florence County Sheriff's Office says the Jamaican man, whose given name is Ewart Everton Brown, 55, was stopped for speeding. It says deputies gained reasonable suspicion of criminal activity and requested a consensual search of his black BMW SUV. During the search, 2 kilograms of cocaine were located, along with a Beretta 9mm pistol, according to the sheriff's office. Brown, who is of a Fort Lauderdale, Florida address, was subsequently arrested and charged with drug trafficking and weapon possession and is being held at the Florence County Detention Center.
We now bring you these international reports.
Now, TikTok might be able to take on trends of a different kind with a move into e-commerce. The Wall Street Journal reports that the social media giant plans to sell Chinese-made goods in the United States. The publication said TikTok looked to find the success enjoyed by similar platforms like Shein and Temu. Beginning in August, according to unnamed sources, the social media platform will offer the TikTok Shopping Center, an Amazon-like marketplace which will allow users to go to one place to view and buy their goods. And TikTok, like Amazon, will act as the conduit for retailers based in China, handling all the marketing and logistics. The journal reports that Chinese suppliers will only be paid by TikTok after finding US customers. The plan is to increase the total net worth of transactions on TikTok from $5 billion last year to $20 billion this year. But it comes as the platform faces heightened scrutiny over users' data security. Back in April, Montana became the first US state to ban the app on personal devices, and now TikTok is fighting to prevent that becoming a US-wide reality. Well, I spoke to Bill Mew, who's Global Cyber Ambassador for the International Association of Risk and Crisis Communication, and asked him about whether or not this move is surprising, given there's so many other platforms doing something similar.
Well, I think all of the major platforms are trying to reach the ideal sweet spot where they have a dominant position, not just in advertising and social, but e-commerce as well. The three are seen as mutually supportive and the ideal combination. But it's not as easy as it might sound. A number of major platforms have tried to have a success in all three areas and have failed to do so. I mean, we've seen Google that is enormous in advertising and also has a big shopping platform that it points users to, but it has fallen foul when it tried to get into social media with Google+. Just because you're good at one thing doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate into others. And also with Facebook, which is very good at what it does and has a dominant position in social and also in advertising, it tried to get in more heavily into e-commerce with payments with its platform Libra, and that failed abysmally and largely on the basis of trust. And this is going to be one of the areas where TikTok is really going to struggle.
Yeah, and of course, TikTok is under even a lot more scrutiny than some of its rivals. So the question remains how successful it can be. But it also feels like they're trying to do something that X, formerly known as Twitter, is trying to do, becoming kind of a super app.
Well, a lot of platforms really have the ambition to be a super app, but it's notable, as I shared with Google and Facebook, that they failed to make that step. Just because you're good at one thing doesn't mean you're going to be good at everything. And we've seen that platforms struggle in the past. When you talk about Twitter, that is an example of a platform that has been particularly bad at innovating. I mean, the Twitter experience hasn't changed a great deal for a long time. And Twitter is in desperate need of innovation and desperate need of something to save it at this moment in time.
But I guess TikTok does have a much younger audience or users. So could this actually work to attract some younger consumers?
There's a potential for them to pull this off, but they, at this moment in time, they have a short video platform and a set of algorithms that are working really, really well. And all of the other platforms are insanely jealous of the success that TikTok has had. And with various different YouTube shorts and reels and other things, they're desperately trying to copy TikTok, but without as much success. There is no guarantee, however, that TikTok is going to have success as it ventures into another area where it doesn't necessarily have the skills and the ability. And also, if it can't crack the question of trust, then it's going to fall flat in this area. And whilst there are people and naysayers and antagonists in the US making arguments about our inability to trust the Chinese, when actually the US platforms are equally to blame for their data and privacy abuses, the big question arises, are consumers going to be willing to trust a Chinese platform in this way?
A coup attempt is underway in the West African nation of Niger. Witnesses report that military vehicles have been blocking the entrance to Mohamed Bazoum's presidential palace. The president says members of the Presidential Guard are holding him inside the palace. Access to ministries next to the palace had also been blocked. Let's bring in Ahmed Idris, who's following developments from Abuja in neighboring Nigeria. Ahmed, what have you been able to gather on this?
Well, basically what we are hearing from Niamey is that military activity has been noticed on the outskirts of the city, where some of these military barracks have been set up. And there was a statement calling on all loyal troops to move in and quell the disturbances. Some reports suggest that there's been some skirmishes around the national television station, but that has not been fully confirmed. Yes, the president is still being held by the Presidential Guard, who took him earlier this morning from his in his residence and kept him captive, and his family. Now, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has issued a strong statement condemning the coup attempt, saying that they will not accept any unconstitutional change of power in Niger Republic. And they're calling on the coup plotters, those who are trying to execute the coup, to return to their barracks and surrender themselves.
Ahmed, thank you very much. I'll let you and your team news gather, and if something significant happens, you'll let us know. Meanwhile, I'll go to Charles Stratford in Dakar. Charles, you're at the ECOWAS summit. That's the Economic Community of West African States. What are they saying? Are you learning anything there?
Well, certainly there has been a statement put out by ECOWAS already, as you heard Ahmed detail there. ECOWAS, which is the regional body responsible for security across this region, condemning this attempted coup in the most vigorous way, in their words. They were calling for all actors involved to release the president, who, of course, was democratically elected in 2021. There's also been a statement put out by the African Union calling on what they described as the treasonous soldiers to stop immediately. So, to me, a very worrying situation in Niamey, in Niger, and of course, in the context of the entire region suffering so many military coups in recent years. According to our estimates here, we've calculated that it would be the sixth coup, if indeed this is a coup and a successful one. It would be the sixth one in West Africa in recent years. So of great concern, especially because Niger is so pivotal, plays such a pivotal role in security operations, anti-terror operations across the region. Most notably, not only in Niger, but in places like in Mali and Burkina Faso, because French forces have been rebased there, having had to be moved out of Mali in recent months as well. So it has huge security implications, this. A very worrying news from another West African state this morning.
All right, Charles Stratford in Dakar, thank you very much. Same thing as Ahmed, I'll let you go. And as you find out, Emmanuel Kwesi Aineng is the director of the Faculty of Academic Affairs and Research at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, and he explains why West African nations are constantly under coup threats.
Niger has been fairly unstable since 1960, having 4 successful coup d'etats and several unsuccessful coups located within just about the epicenter of the violence in the Sahel. So on balance, the President Mahmoud Bazoum and his government seem to be facing a very uphill task. But I think it's very important that the signals from the international community are consistent. And I think here there will have to be some trade-offs, deepening democracy, a much more inclusive economic development processes, and then support for the government to be able to deliver very credible fight to the violent extremists. In Niger, the population is almost increasing by 40-50% almost every 5 years or so. That places immense pressures on any government's ability to create jobs, to provide education, to provide health, to provide housing. But there must be a balance around this, and there must be a conversation as to how governments that are under economic restraint of limited resources are able to explain to their populations what the challenges are, an ability to fight corruption. That has been a major challenge for West Africa's democracies, and that almost consistently, almost legitimizes the militarist desire to intervene. Corruption is the big elephant in the room here, plus the fight against violent extremists. This is a challenge that almost all West African governments are facing.
Investors had their eyes on the Federal Reserve on Wednesday morning. The US central bank was widely expected to do another quarter-point rate hike, possibly the last in its current cycle of increases. European stocks slipped by around 0.5% in early trades as caution prevailed. Markets also had a deluge of earnings to digest. Among big lenders, Deutsche Bank dropped 1% after it said profits fell by more than a quarter. It was hit by a slump in investment banking. Spanish giant Santander initially gained nearly 1% after its profits jumped, but later fell back. Luxury titan LVMH dropped 4%, even though it narrowly beat earnings forecasts late the day before. Investors were concerned by its failure to give any forecast for sales in China. Rolls-Royce shot up more than 20% after it raised its profit outlook by almost a half. After a tough few years, the jet engine maker is getting a boost as travel rebounds and military spending soars. Shares in mining giant Rio Tinto dropped around 2% after it said softer iron ore prices had driven profits to a 3-year low. Other big names to report earnings on Wednesday included GSK, Danone and car group Stellantis.
You were listening to the Midday News on WINNFM 98.9. The headlines: Agriculture Permanent Secretary briefs CARICOM on the Federation's step to achieving a 25 by 25 goal. Agenda launch set for July 27, 2023. Jehu Kelly charged with multiple counts of robbery and firearm possession. Brent Edwards charged with causing death by dangerous driving. Dominica records third consecutive year of growth, and Morocco to open consulate in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Internationally, the Wall Street Journal reports plans that TikTok will move into e-commerce. Thank you for listening.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com. When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
It's 12:31 and we're back for the second half, the remaining segment of Voices. And this segment is brought to you by Hosford's. We're going to get a word from Hosford's and we're going to come back. I have some clips I want to share. I want to play an excerpt from Do I Ask the Fans commentary for today, Wednesday. And I also want to share another clip, well, which go to some of the discussions and issues that have been current in the news of late. So let's get a word from Hotspots and come back.
Get ready for the biggest sales event of the year. It's the Hotspots Furniture and Appliances major sales event, where we're slashing prices by 20% off on all major appliances. Are you looking for amazing deals on refrigerators, stoves, large appliances, washing machines, and even microwaves? Well, look no further. From the latest models to top brands, Hotspots Furniture and Appliances has it all at unbeatable prices. Whether you're upgrading your kitchen or replacing old appliances, this is the perfect opportunity to get major savings and save big. These deals won't last forever. This is a limited time opportunity to snag the appliance of your dreams at 20% off and get double cashback coupons with every purchase. Don't miss out. The Hotspots Furniture and Appliances major appliances sales event, where quality meets affordability. Don't miss out on the biggest discounts on refrigerators, stoves, large appliances, washing machines, and microwaves. Hurry in today and make your home a major delight. Major savings, major discounts, 20% off on major appliances, plus double cash back for free groceries. Happening now at Hotspots Furniture and Appliances. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
And we're back on Voices, and I'm really raring to get to it. So let's have at it. First issue, first clip I want to play. Now, we were having a discussion about our never-ending quest for self-determination and self-betterment of us here in the African diaspora and Africa itself, the motherland. And we had a discussion earlier about we had a caller who was calling and saying that I keep hearing all these bad things about Africa and so on and so forth. Well, I just wanted to play a clip from a YouTube channel I follow. Her name is Wangel Zelalem. She's actually part of the African Diaspora News channel. She's from Ethiopia. She lives in Kenya, but she has her own YouTube channel as well, and she shared an excerpt of a speech the Secretary of Foreign Affairs from Kenya gave, which goes to the heart of the problem. It goes to the heart of the perennial issues surrounding the betterment and improving the self-determination of our people everywhere. So I'm just gonna play it. So here we go. Let me play this.
This is me clapping for Dr. Alfred Mutua, who is the Cabinet Secretary of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs of Kenya. And honestly, loved his speech. I want you to watch it. We'll come back, and I have a lot to say.
My brothers and sisters, I think let us be a bit realistic about what is going on in the world today. Many years ago, in Berlin, Europeans sat down and subdivided our continent, at times separating a brother from our sister. After they finished doing that and colonizing us, they went ahead and taught us to fear, hate, and keep away from each other. So you are my neighbor, but I fear you, and I don't want to mingle with you. Let me give you an example and use a few African examples. Today, it is easier for a European to travel within Europe without requirement of a visa. They can trade, make money, visit each other, spend money, and the European Union area, and they're making a lot of money, they're becoming rich and rich every day. In Africa, our former colonies and what they taught us still prevails. Then they mingle among each other. Today in Africa, the reality is that for an African to visit a European nation, an ordinary African, to visit a European nation, is like, let me give you an example my teacher used to use. It's like trying to milk an elephant. because of the visa process. However, for a European to visit an African nation, most of our nations, it is like a walk on the beach. It's like going to have a cup of tea. But then that is not the problem. The tragedy is that now for an African to visit a fellow African within the African Union, the visa restrictions in many of our nations, among us, between our brothers and sisters, is like trying to brush the teeth of a crocodile. They came, divided us, and they have taught us to keep each other from each other. Then they're mingling with each other and making money and growing, but they have taught us to hate each other. But for us to really enjoy the true economic benefits of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, we need to behave like the Europeans and allow for the free movement of people and trade. Our development agencies, such as the African Union Development Agency and others, cannot really succeed when there are all these restrictions among ourselves. To this end, in our contribution to this continental aspiration, Kenya is committed to progressively, and we are moving very fast by the end of this year, to abolish visas to citizens from African Union member states to make it easier to invest and do business in Kenya and across the continent. We are going to open the borders of Kenya. We do not fear our fellow Africans. Come, travel to Kenya. Live, do business in Kenya. Trade, make money in Kenya. And we hope we'll get reciprocity with the rest of you. Let us open our continent so that we can make money and live together. Let us remove the shackles of colonialism that are still embedded in our heads.
Okay, so that was the bit I wanted to play, and that's one of President Ruto's ministers. So he clearly chose well, and that's the kind of thing I like to hear coming from the motherland, especially from the new cohort of politicians, the new cohort of leaders. That is what I like to hear. So I thought that was something that you guys might want to hear and think about. The struggle continues. Let me go to the phone lines. I have a excerpt from Dwight Asafan's new commentary. I'm going to play that as well. I've already watched most of it, but I'm thinking I want to play the first 4 minutes or so. I think that's good for a conversation, and another time we'll hear the entirety of his commentary. It's the commentary actually is about the announcements from the UK about Dominica and so on, and Dwight makes some good points as usual. Let's go to the phone lines. Okay, that person. Okay, so yeah. If you guys want to call, the numbers are 466-0989, 762-0989. Let's go to the phone lines. Clearly, this person knows the numbers. Voices, you're on the air.
Hey, Jamsta, good afternoon.
Hey.
Hey, yeah, timely. I follow that YouTube, the lady from Ethiopia also.
Yeah, she's great, isn't she?
Yes.
That's my girl.
Yeah, especially when the TPLF, the war, the Tigrayan people and Ethiopia, and she was giving the analysis that when the TPLF was in administration, there was all fine and dandy with the U.S. And then when you know the present prime minister and president assume responsibilities, you know, to follow him. But yes, President Ruto, William Ruto of Kenya, yeah, he assumed presidency from Uhuru Kenyatta, and yeah. And he's doing a tremendous job, along with Paul Kagame and the elder from Uganda. And we can see the solidarity in East Africa a lot. Not
Yes,
only that, Jamsta,
it's
there's
nice
a
to see
commonality
growing.
in the language, the Kiswahili.
Yes.
Yes, that because you see, we speak in English, and we speak in the English, and we admit that. But the English language, if one were to walk back, like I said, to the the Latin and the Greek, because it's like a double whammy, you know. You see, when we're quoting biblical scriptures and so, we take it on the gloss because we're speaking in English and we try to give an English interpretation. But there was so much has been done within the bastardization of those, the authentic, what we call the Paleo-Hebrew, or even that, you know. But that aside, yes, let's talk about the politics there. There was like a mid-conference within the African Union, and it was chaired by Kenya. And just last night, I heard the news that Nigeria is the third economy on the continent. So I am assuming who is the second or who is the first, because it was the contention between Nigeria and South Africa. I want to assume, I think it's Kenya.
Well, I think Egypt. Isn't Egypt the largest economy?
No, it was South
Ethiopia
Africa or
but
Nigeria.
I know what. Okay, I'm not sure which is.
Because the economies, Jamsa, they are really rising. The economies, the fastest growing economies in the world. If there are 10 growing economies in the world, I think it's 8 or 7 is on the continent of Africa.
Yes.
And these are the things we don't pay attention to. Not only that, IMF had tell Zimbabwe, as dismal as Zimbabwe economy is, IMF had told Zimbabwe to done away with their gold coin. And the world is moving into a different direction now. And that is one of the biggest fear, Jamsta. The hegemony that the gentleman spoke about yesterday. That has a pivotal part to do with it. And we've seen with the BRICS. South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, he's under a lot of pressure as to whether to allow Putin to come or whether not to allow him to come, whether to arrest Putin. That is the bigger political thing. But I would like to see Africa, like there's going to be a summit in Russia. And President William Ruto spoke about it. Why send 10, 12, 15 representatives of Africa when you have the African Union to send 1 or 2 representatives that will represent the continent as a whole? We are so fragmented. St. Vincent Prime Minister,
but
he needs not to say the things that he's saying.
But the other thing that's going on is, junketeering, meaning a lot of these ministers love, and I'm talking about here too. A lot of these ministers, they love going on. Listen, they're like children. They just love going on a plane and joyriding all over the place.
And the priorities.
We keep electing a bunch of children, always out of the country.
Same
thing with those Africans.
The gambling thing with Antigua.
Same thing with those Africans.
And we saw the result of it. Antigua didn't get the money because of the gambling. They will always pick at us. St. Vincent wants to set up the marijuana thing. They will get pushback too, and they will need our solidarity. Not because they're not into the CBI. We all need our solidarity. So when a prime minister going to speak like that, they're not speaking in the collective.
To your point.
And that is what the people want to hear. Huh?
To your point, President Ruto makes a good point. They have an African Union. Why is 11, 12 people going off to Russia when they can just send 1 or 2 people
for photo ops.
Exactly.
And he was right on it. He's talking about photo ops. What 54 nations presidents they're going to go for a small period of time to their summit. What are you going to accomplish for your nation?
They just want to joyride up and down the place and go on the expensive
those people
shopping
like that.
and
They like that.
First class.
So that he was very innovative. I mean, that was something that the African Union will take on board, because I tell you what, PLO Lumumba seems to be he's like the advisor now. Maybe not officially employed as the advisor to the African Union, but the way he speaks. Right? He said, I've written you a letter, Mustafaki. Have you gotten my letter? Yes, because he's like the eyes and the ears of the continent.
Well, let me ask you,
he's surrounded.
What's your take on I have a problem with some of the stances some African leaders are taking on the Ukraine war. I feel like in a lot of cases it's it's kind of like a false choice. It's like just because they're against the U.S. means that they have to support Russia. I just don't understand it. I was wishing a little. I was expecting a little more nuance than that. You know, meaning okay.
Yes,
Oh,
and also they think that African leaders don't have the wherewithal in terms of influence to make any changes out there, and that is what has happened.
But my point is, why
if we're
would
going to assert ourselves, because
why-
Cyril Ramaphosa made the point with the COVID, you know,
Why-
and the choice for the vaccine, and we were left out in the cold. The value of life is as equal as anywhere, but yet you hog all the vaccine in Europe, and and then the reverse happened, whereas we did not need the vaccine the way they needed it
Africa did the best?
in terms of the death. Yeah.
Yes, did the best during COVID. Okay.
Yes, Jamsa. So I'm listening to all the contributions.
Okay.
It's just that we are at all stations in life, and I may not weigh in on every issue because that's not me. But I'm listening, and so when I come to the fore, I come to the fore with valued contribution as to the unification of our people. But St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister, Ras Gal, he chaired a meeting just the other day with the Latin America with Europe. It's for 8 years they did not had the meeting for. But he's setting up the marijuana thing, and he's going to need solidarity because they're going to push back at it anyhow. So we don't need to scoff at others who you might say is our demise and because of the CBI. We knew that the CBI wouldn't last forever. And our leaders are not being innovative enough to diversify
Well, I'm
with
glad
the
you,
monies that would...
I'm glad you brought that up because the excerpt from Dwight Asafan's commentary, he talked about the fact that, we knew that there would be inherent problems with conducting thorough due diligence and so on.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take a break now. When I come back, I'm going to play that
Okay.
excerpt.
One last thing before I go. Slightly. I had a departure yesterday from the hotel because of my attire in my kente. It struck a conversation. The gentleman told me he was in Ghana back in the early 70s, and we had such a conversation. So your mannerism in life will make you people admire what you represent, and that is what open the door for conversation. If we are to be the saviors of the world, in which we are, we have to assert ourselves as saviors.
And we have
and
to
the
stop.
example.
And we have to stop
Thanks for
being
listening.
and we have to stop being afraid to assert our African selves. That's another thing.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
You know what I mean? It goes beyond the words alone, but it goes. There's so much of us
Yes.
to assert. Yes, thanks for listening.
Okay, great. Okay, let me take a quick break, and when I come back, we're going to get that excerpt from Dwight Asafan's commentary.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Riddle this, riddle that. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is again giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars in cashback for free groceries with every hire purchase. Will be given back this coupon season. Happening now. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in cashback coupon to all our hire purchase customers this coupon season. Starting now until December 2023. You get absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase at our Horseman's Furniture and Appliances stores on St. Kitts Nevis and our Ashley Home Store on St. Kitts. So riddle this. Where can you get quality furniture and appliances at great prices with a flexible FlexPlay plan and with absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase? Riddle that. Cashback at Horseman's Furniture and Appliances on St. Kitts Nevis and our Ashley Home Store on St. Kitts. Riddle this, riddle that. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is giving you over $250,000 in cashback and a chance to win free groceries for a year. Riddle that cashback. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
And we are back, and as promised, I have an excerpt from Dwight Asafan's brand new commentary. They usually come out on Wednesdays, and I listened to about half of it, and I thought I would play an excerpt. It would be the first 4 minutes, 15 seconds or so, which I think sets up things to think about, and also the catalyst for the discussion, and especially the stuff that's been in the news lately concerning the CBI restrictions. No. What I should say is the restrictions on travelers coming from certain OECS countries due to passports people secured through the CBI program. So let us hear what Dwight has to say.
Greetings. On July 19th, 2023, that's last week, United Kingdom government issued a statement of changes in its immigration rules by taking away visa-free access for people holding passports of Dominica and other countries. The UK government said that careful consideration of Dominica's citizenship by investment program had revealed clear and evident abuse, including the granting of citizenships to persons known to pose a risk to the United Kingdom. The UK government also said that it took the decision mainly for migration and border security reasons. That decision regarding Dominica is very relevant to us because we too have a citizenship by investment program. Now, this is not the first time that there's been talk of these things and action by foreign governments with regard to our jurisdictions. Some of you will recall back in 2014 when the United States Treasury Department issued an advisory against us. Two of the major concerns, if I recall correctly, were one, people were getting passports who had been on the terrorist list, and secondly, the place of birth field had been removed from our passports. And the U.S. Treasury Department said, no, we cannot tolerate this. So they issued an advisory, and it still stands today. And in that same year, 2014, Canada ended its visa waiver entry for people holding our passports. We see some measures to turn that around have begun, but nowhere near completed. And there was also concern by the Americans and the Canadians and others that bad people might be changing their names and applying for and getting our passports under different identities. So this problem of bad actors, unsavory characters, persons who the governments of those countries consider to be a threat to their national interests is not a new problem. And those bad actors and unsavory characters who got our citizenship by way of investment were not the only ones causing concern for those foreign governments. Some bad actors also got citizenship by marriage in St. Kitts and Nevis, using the cheap route. One of them, infamously, Hush Puppy from Nigeria, got his passport in 19 days. Fake marriage. He's in a U.S. jail serving an 11-year sentence. Now, a little background. I'm not going to go into detail about the one-man show that was pretty much our citizenship by investment program in the 1980s and early 90s. Instead, I'm going to start in 2006 when the SIDF was introduced. 3 groups of people from then to now have caused us to be where we are today, facing the risk of near total closure of our CBI program. First, the bad actors who got our passports. Second, the decision makers who allowed the bad actors to get our passports. Some of those bad actors even got diplomatic passports. The same decision makers who, whether through incompetence or deliberateness, failed to serve and protect the best interests of the people of this country by not regulating the industry as tightly as they should have done. The same decision makers who, over the 16 years between 2006 and 2022, misspent hundreds of millions of dollars from the public purse, squandering the opportunity and demonstrating reckless disregard for their mandate to use that money to build the foundation for a new green and blue economy and a dignified and progressive and prosperous society.
So yes, that was the part. I said 4:15, but it's 4:13. Okay, yeah, close enough. So I thought that was a good. I thought that was a good primer from Dwight Estefan's new commentary, and at some point in the future, maybe later, I think Socrates is doing voices on Friday. So depending on well, I shouldn't say depending on, because these are things that we need to hear. These are things we need to think about and things we need to discuss and debate, which is why I play these things. But, sadly, sometimes people don't want to weigh in on sexy stuff. And you guys only want to weigh in on nigger business and stuff. As we start talking about sensational stuff, oh, man, you guys break down the phone. You have to call the fire truck to hose down the phone because the phone is ringing off the hook, catching fire. But you present actually important stuff that we should be thinking about if we want our nation to grow and progress, and if we want to self-correct and self-improve. No, you guys don't want that. I'm just saying. Let's go to the phone lines. Voices, you're on the air.
Yes, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. Hey, good afternoon.
Here again.
Yeah.
Mr. Cornelius, a few weeks ago.
Mr. Cornelius? Really? Mr. Cornelius, really?
Sorry. Sorry. A few weeks ago, they had the opening in the circus of the calendar of events for independence. Well, we vendors take them up on the offer. You go on government headquarters to go register to pay your money to attend to make some money at a number of events where vendors could make some money. And they're telling vendors that they ain't ready yet. They said they ain't ready to do no booking for vendors yet. And when they're done, they're going to handpick a few vendors who cannot hold the fort at the function. They run out of drinks, run out of food in a matter of 2 and 3 hours. And vendors who could hold the fort from the beginning to the end, they're telling you they're not ready yet. And then they're going to handpick a few vendors. They come with 2 little cases of drink and a small little cooler and run out of drinks in 2 hours and run out of food in 2 hours. And then they're going to go and say you come late. The same thing with the event Saturday, the Grill Fest. Vendors went to them earlier, a month ago, 3 weeks ago, to book, to sell at the event. You know what they say? They done got the vendors them and they didn't want no outside vendors. They handpick a few vendors, so. And when done, they're at the event and they can't hold the fort. They run out of water, run out of all kind of drinks, run out of pork, run out of fish, all kind of things. And the vendors, them, who they ain't pick, take it on themselves and say they're going over there to sell. They're calling police and police checking you and telling you if you sell a drink, they pull your vehicle and all your stuff up the camp and you have to pay $2,000 to get them back. Lo and behold, so by 5:30, the same handpick vendors them run out of drinks, run out of food. The vendor them who they checking with police and run us all the way down the lawn by the coconut tree is who had to take shame out the eye. They had to end up send the same people them down there to buy drinks and things from the same vendors them where they wanted to lock up. So why are they telling you, as a vendor, you must get a business license, you must get food handlers permit, you must go through all these process. But when you're done, events are put on and they're telling you can't sell. So why you a small business? Why you are entrepreneur for? Why you taking our money? Why you boasting? You have a lot of small business and a lot of young people, a lot of people is entrepreneur. But when time for the entrepreneur them to go make money, they're running you and calling police for you. And you got your stuff that you needed to be in business. The same thing, CARICOM there, the 50th anniversary of CARICOM. Vendors gone on the square to sell to make a money for the event they had there. When you look, committee members coming around telling you can't sell no drink. You must go outside with your coolers them You would take up the cooler, them go outside, put them in the vehicle, start to sell from outside in the road. Lo and behold, sir, in 2-3 hours, the bar in there run out of drinks. See them running with empty cases going up and down to buy drinks. The same vendors, them they run out, you know, have to take shame out there and sell cold drinks and water, ice, all kind of things for them while they're running up and down, knocking somebody's door to get drinks. These are the things that small business people suffering in this country. Not only that, all the foreigners, them up and down, getting business license, getting permission to do business. But local people like us, who have good business plan, good business idea, want to do business, we are spin like a Ferris wheel until you can't get you can't get nothing to do business. You gone up by the airport there, where you get your business license. When you tell them and show them what business you're going to do, they are telling you they're not giving you no business license. Your business has to set up, and they have to come and see the business in operation, and then they give you a business license. But then when you look around, a Guyanese apply behind you, get you. Trinidadian, people from all over the world, Chinese, Russian, everybody, apply behind you and get in through. Everywhere you go, they tell you, go back to Tom. You go to Tom, they tell you, go to Sally. When you go to Sally, they tell you, go to Angie. And instead of that, you feel like a Ferris wheel, spinning you like a fan blade on a Ferris wheel. In your own country, the same people that they are put on committees, they're going on like, well, the committee is a personal thing, home or business, so they're doing as they like and not serving the public, serving the foreigners them. Everywhere you go, there's a foreigner in front of you. You go for a job, they're telling you no job is there. Mind they put out thing, you know, say come, we need people to employ. We got these openings. When you go, they tell you, oh, we ain't got no opening. You can off. Only to pass back around a few days later, you see a bunch of Spanish, bunch of Guyanese, a bunch of Trinidadians, and they just tell you a couple days ago that there is no vacancy. This is why we're suffering in our own country, sir. And for the people that we elect to serve us and to say to make opportunities and to make good for us, to help us to move from the poverty state up the ladder. But instead of that, the people that we elect, they put you below the poverty line and put the foreigners them in front of you. Go on, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, Kyle. Okay, so you guys have a lot of things you can call in and weigh in on. All right. Let's keep it substantive, right? All right. True to form, people are calling as I'm about to go to the commercial break. So here's what's going to happen. I am going to take the commercial break. And no one was calling while Kyle was speaking. So there's a call coming in now, but I'm taking my commercial break. So you will call me after the commercial break.
Found the sound, 98.9
Get ready for the biggest sales event of the year. It's the Horseman's Furniture and Appliances major sales event, where we're slashing prices by 20% off on all major appliances. Are you looking for amazing deals on refrigerators, stoves, large appliances, washing machines, and even microwaves? Well, look no further. From the latest models to top brands, Horseman's Furniture and Appliances has it all at unbeatable prices. Whether you're upgrading your kitchen or replacing old appliances, this is the perfect opportunity to get major savings and save big. These deals won't last forever. This is a limited time opportunity to snag the appliance of your dreams at 20% off and get double cashback coupons with every purchase. Don't miss out. The Horseman's Furniture and Appliances major appliances sales event where quality meets affordability. Don't miss out on the biggest discounts on refrigerators, stoves, large appliances, washing machines, and microwaves. Hurry in today and make your home a major delight. Major savings, major discounts, 20% off on major appliances, plus double cash back for free groceries. Happening now at Horseman's Furniture and Appliances. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
6 minutes after 1 o'clock. So no, this is when you should be calling me. Don't call me. Don't not call during calls and then tell me that we have people with these long run-on calls. Don't call me when you know commercial break is due or during the commercial break. This is a good time to call me. Just saying. Voices, you're on the air. Okay, let's go to the next call. Voices, you're on the air.
Yes, Jamster.
Hey, what's
quickly.
up? Mm-hmm.
Now, before the news break, right? Our elder, Mrs. Henry, says, according to my contribution, that God is laughing. She stated that God laughs. And I think she also said God is laughing. Now, has she seen God laughing? And as her statement, is it any different to what they put in the book? So you see, Jamster, I am saying to us, we have to refocus and re-educate ourselves, because everything that is in this book is to keep us passive by a group of people, specifically Europeans, who have tampered with our reality, our story, our culture, our tradition, our spirituality. And spirituality is not a synonym, Jamster. We are spiritual beings. So, Mrs. Henry, woe be unto you. I am not condemning what your point of view. So don't tell me over the ear that I am going down a dark path. You are making statements like you have seen God laugh, as you stated. And they put it in the book. The source of life, Jamster, the source of life gave life. Humanity came from life. A duality between masculine and feminine that harmonize in unity and procreate life in the human race. Life is alive. Cosmology is alive. Ecology is alive. So when you look at the sun, your eye behold the sun. And without the sun, nothing can germinate. The earth is the embodiment of our divine. I'm not going to use the word God. The earth is the embodiment of the divine. Divine duality between masculine and feminine that brought forth life. Life is alive and life creates life. Let us move away from this myth of a God in the sky.
Okay, we have another call. You can call back. Caller, you're on the air. Go right ahead. Hello, caller. Man, I rudely semi cut off that call, and then there's no one here. Voices, you're on.
Greetings.
Okay.
My blessed love. Name of the Most High Jah Rastafari. A Jamsta.
Yeah.
You know, Sunday was the 131st year of the resurrection of Rastafari, right? Sunday?
No, I didn't.
23rd of July?
No, I didn't know that.
131 years since the resurrection of Rastafari, you know, of God among man, you know.
Okay.
Look here.
Okay.
You know about the new ganja regulation? New cannabis regulation?
Generally, yes, I do. Hello.
Blessed, do you hear me?
Yeah, you cut out just now. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, there's a document in Cannabis Clarity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where they have the new regulation now for how you deal with the herb. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay, I would like you to look on it. You know, take a look on it and then because maybe they are really meant on it, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, but I know putting forward, you know what I mean? At time now, I know people really look into themselves and know themselves as Rasta. You check because you're going to run into a whole heap of problem because just 2 years in the earth, you know, King. 2 years, life and death, you know? AI are the Stone Age world. You understand? And we're chatting along a path leading us into the AI, which is cyberspace, you know, which is fantasy. See? We have to go to the reality. We ain't got a lot of problems. You understand?
Yes.
Now, we as people, we as the human being, we as the the citizens of countries all over the world. We must stand up and defend our human rights because there's a system that's coming to shut it down, you know?
Okay.
And we have to stand up and represent our human, you know what I mean? Human dignity.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I want
Okay,
to say.
great. Okay. Yes, okay, great. Okay, so I await your calls. We heard from... Okay, let's go back to the phone lines. Voices, you're on. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
JAMsta, I'm calling, right? What I would like to see tomorrow is that the Prime Minister make himself available to attend the meeting to the farmers. We are going to be unveiling this 25 by 25. Because why people don't understand, when I call in on the radio, right? It does not seem to be understanding. My words goes way back to 1991. Police with AK-47 pulling in his face. Downtown, when I go semi-produce, come up in the mountain, come to the farming. Police with AK-47. I stand up in the car, we had peppers.
Now, Kosh, I'm not trying to be combative or anything, but just I want to ask a reasonable question. You have a Minister of Agriculture. Why does the Prime Minister need to be there? I just want to hear.
No, listen to me. Why doing the call? I want him to understand, right? We having no qualms with a matter of fact, what was going on from way back is still continuing. I would like the Prime Minister to hear and see for himself what we are going through. Because, for example, as I said, what about to say, right? I got documents backdated into 90.
But he has a but there's a Minister of Agriculture.
1999 when I had president in Canada. Minister, I'm not a fact, a Minister of Agriculture back then was thieving farmers' money. I stood up SSMC money too, and because of that.
Yes, but I'm talking. Yes, but yes, Kosh. But let's be practical.
My position was debated in cabinet.
Yes.
But
Kosh, I like.
2007 and all, and think go back to 1991.
I like to be practical.
Still prevailing. Since October, can't go farm a Milan at all. Can't just come in, walk down the fencing, destroying this Milan, deploying us every day. The Minister of Agriculture and his permanent secretary, like, ain't interested. They got their own farm.
You do. Tosh,
the major reason why, like, the Prime Minister to be present.
You do realize that sometimes you guys move the goalposts because you get an extension officer who's doing his job. Yeah, okay. Then you say, yeah, and then you say, wait. Then you say, I want to see the minister, and then no, you're gonna have a meeting with the minister. You say, I want to see the Prime Minister. So I mean, what's the point of having? What's the point of having? What's the point of having?
Because he see and hear firsthand, and he could also read the body language of the Minister of Agriculture, his permanent secretary. That's one of the major reasons I want him to be there too. See here and when they're telling like from and then telling no lie. Respect.
Okay, that last bit. That's fair. That's fair. Okay, that's fair. Voices, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, JAMsta.
Yeah, good afternoon.
JAMsta.
Yes.
Unless Rasta don't come together and black people don't come together, especially in the Federation of St. Nevis, where we're talking about so much the Europeans do this and Europeans do that. Because JAMsta, when up to the other night, I was listening to a Rasta man was speaking to me. He told me going on radio to say what me know what me talking about. I said, well, since you know what talk about company where they educate people, educate me. Educate the world, educate the young people. And listen, let me tell you, JAMsta, Rastafari parents are up along in Sinkit, and they don't have a temple or nothing to educate even the children about Rasta and about Africa or whatsoever. The children them still going to the ordinary school and whatsoever. You understand? So I want to know how serious they be. I just want to come and talk. This is thing. Rasta Upsalang. Rasta Colonji come on and talk. Rasta Colonji might get differences against other Rastas. Rasta come on and talk. Rasta might get differences against other Rastas. Sankofa. They might get differences because other Rasta, you know, you not agree with the other Rasta with the oil or whatever. And this is the thing that we mix up. They're mixing up too. Because if they can't come together and say, well, listen now, as Rasta, we're going to come together. We're going to build a temple, man. We're going to try to educate the people. Educate our children. You know? Let's get their own school. Educate the children towards wherever. In other countries, the Indians, them do it. The Indians, them educate the people to where they believe. You understand? So I don't see the back and forth, this do that and that do that and whoever do this and whoever do that. And nothing coming out and they ain't getting nothing out as far as I'm concerned. Man, it's troubling all the time to hear coming and talking about the European this and the European that. We know what they do. Can't do Sylvie, let me move forward, man. Let me cut out that and move forward. Let me do something. Let me do something. Let me stand up to something. The whole Black Caribbean, the African, and in the West Indies and whatever. Do something about wherever. Don't talk. Because talking ain't going to put us nowhere. We got to start somewhere. Okay then, Jamsta.
Okay, great. Let's move to another call. Okay. Yeah, so I had a comment here, someone, and fairly enough saying, me talking about the ministers and so on. It came up because of the African junketeering I was talking about, and I referenced the junketeering that goes on here as well, which I think is fair because I have people approaching me saying, I hear people saying it publicly and about these guys are always traveling up and down the place, and my thing is obviously I'm not saying ministers shouldn't travel, but sometimes I wonder if the permanent secretaries and some of the functionaries in some of these ministries are getting the chance to also attend some of these meetings, so that obviously because in that way obviously the ministry or whatever department it is that the meeting is geared towards, so obviously those government agencies would work better. That's my point. And yes, I'm sorry, that's the impression I get, that they seem like joyriding children. I'm gonna double down. I'm sorry, all they have to do is take me off the radio if they don't like it. Back to the phones. Hello, voices.
Greetings again.
Yes.
Jamsta.
Yeah.
I'm a Mr. Politics make a mystic statement, and informative, Yeah, I know I need to get more unified in truth. But I must have to educate myself about what Rastafari is, because that is what I find amongst ourselves as, let's say, Caribbean people, because Rastafari bus in Jamaica, so he bus in the Caribbean, and we the Caribbean people, very ignorant about what Rastafari is. Rastafari is the new way to live, you know what I mean? So when you say like a days of Rasta need a place to worship, all of those things is good, but that can't really stop Rasta from forward, because the first place of worship is your body, which is the temple of the Most High, and that is the main temple, Other buildings where a man build up, then they come secondary, but the main temple of the Most High, because he show you the Most High dwelling temples that was not built by the hands of man, which is the human body. See? So we have to know ourselves on these levels, and they're going to educate us. They're going to educate us about these things there in their schools. See? These things where the Father himself would reveal unto you, if you desire that. You know what I mean? So he's not talking about Africa and all that. We as Caribbean people, Rastafari come unto we first, and we got to watch how we rejecting it. Because when we reject it, it's sufferation we're gonna check in. And we ain't gonna even realize that. You see? Rastafari is the salvation of the human race. If you look at the life of His Majesty, it was just to restore humanity, because the breakdown of humanity started long time in His Majesty, because the raping of African, the taking away the African land from the African people. You know, it went all up to the time to when His Majesty come forward and stop it. You know? And when he stop it, only the little piece of land they call Ethiopia is the only piece where they ain't get to take up. You know what I mean? So people have to talk about these things, and we supposed to concern ourselves about them, because it's we who name Africans. You know? And we is the ones who scatter, and, you know, so we have to start out we think, and the way we have to go, it cannot be the way that enslave us. So the politics thing can't help us, you know.
Okay.
We think that that's an illusion.
Okay.
See?
We have a call. Okay, but great, Wayne. Okay. You see, that's what happens sometimes when someone is on the line, and I move to the other line. If the person was waiting, and, you know, they may hang up or the call drops. So go ahead, voices. You're on here.
Good afternoon, Jamsta.
Hey, what's up?
Cool, man. Better late than never.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me give a little history here. In St. Kitts, we had 3 dozen, that is 36, sugar estate who used to grow and harvest sugar cane that's sent to the sugar factory. And each estate had 2 different transportation. They had either the 4-wheel tractors or a truck with 6 rims on it. And you're going to tell me some estate had as much as 4 tractors pulling cane. Some had 2, and some had 1 truck. And the sugar factory, the sugar industry closed 2005. Every farmer that we have in St. Kitts should have been able to purchase a tractor at a small cost that they could afford, and at least 1 cart to pull with a tractor. Where have all those tractors gone? Now, there was a young fellow on Buckley's estate where I was born and raised, and he's my good friend. He's in Canada now. His name is Errol Morton. When he leaves school, he was working with the estate mechanic shop, and the foreman was a great diesel mechanic called Chiddick from Keon. And there was a tractor and track wheels, they call him crawler. They push that aside after they get another new tractor. They push that aside and condemn it. And that young fellow tell his boss that he could bring back the tractor there to work. And he alone worked on the tractor until he needed extra strength to lift up a certain heavy part to fit it back on. And he get the tractor there working. So when people come talking about tractor computer, this, yes, even vehicles, cars have computer to tell you whether number 1 valve working or whatsoever on the under the bonnet working. But the computer cannot control the plow that dig down in the earth behind to plow the ground. Because they still have diesel mechanic in St. Kitts. Whether they're active, yes or not, they have the knowledge and experience to fix those tractors. And if they had those tractors, a lot of farmers would not have been going through the high expense to buy tractors to plow the land.
Culture.
Yeah.
I had wanted to ask a question this morning, but I didn't think it was really germane to the conversation. I did present the part about the Ford tractors and Ford not making tractors anymore, but given that, okay, I know I grew up seeing the Ford tractors and so on.
Yeah.
And now they don't make tractors. So what tractors you think they're referring to that might be best now that Fords are not available? What brand? I just.
What about repeat that?
No, I was saying the guys didn't seem to know that Ford didn't make tractors anymore, right? Because while they were talking, I said, wait, let me look up this. So I looked up, does Ford still make tractors? And they don't. They stopped making tractors. So I was wondering what brand. I didn't think it was important to ask that, because to me that seemed like a little off topic. For me, I thought it would have been an off-topic question. So I'm just asking you, given that the 4 tractors aren't available, what brand do you think would be the?
They got Massey Ferguson,
And John Deere, maybe?
and they got John Deere,
Yes, I figured.
and they have Caterpillar tractors.
Or
So
Caterpillar.
if Ford do not make any with their brand name, they have those other companies who make those tractors.
Okay.
So and you know, certain state that I live in America, I saw the owner of the farmers them got the John Deere tractors plowing, and John Deere don't go bad for spoil and quickly, and they still have diesel mechanic, like I said before, in St. Kitts and Nevis that willing to to fix any diesel tractors that need a mechanical work on it. They're willing to do that. So it's for them to send out the invitation. Anyway, thank you, Jamsta.
Okay, sure, great. On to the next. What voice is you on?
Good day, Jamsta.
Oh, hey.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, it took you long enough.
Yeah. It was spurred by your comment. Joyriding children. That sounds a bit harsh.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I said what I said. I'm not taking it
well,
back.
Really and truly, though, you may have a point. I would expect the main people who would be involved in traveling, certainly among the ministers, would be the Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister. Okay? There are meetings that they absolutely must attend. The other ministers, I would imagine, should be present at meetings where their compatriots would be, their colleague ministers from other countries would be. So you wouldn't expect, for instance, a minister to attend a technical meeting which really involves functionaries. You leave that for the like functionaries in the other countries. Right? And so I agree that it's mainly the people who are going to be doing the work, executing policy and so on, that should be attending technical meetings, not so much the ministers. The ministers attend at the policy-making level. And so I don't know what... I know, for instance, that in the previous government, there was an issue made of the amount of time the ministers traveled, and so I guess it's a case of a cycle. Now it's pretty much the same thing. But really and truly, bearing in mind what's involved in travel, most times, or a lot of times, it's not just coming from the country's coffers, it's coming from organizations, especially if it's a technical meeting.
Yes, that's fair. Yeah, that's true. I know that for a fact, yeah.
Yeah. There is also the issue of the per diem that ministers and other people traveling for government get. Because the tendency is to, even if it's a foreign government or agency paying for that meeting, they tend to be very substantial, very generous. And so the enticement is there for there to be travel. But I really do agree that, after the initial euphoria and that kind of thing, that the high-level officials will settle down and get the work done on the ground. Right? They leave the traveling for either another time or once they're settled in to their various constituencies and making sure that they're okay, people are okay,
but you see, my thing is, I don't have an issue with the travel per se, and I think me and you are on the same page with this. My thing is, sometimes I get the impression that the functionaries don't get... take, for example, you have an agricultural meeting and maybe just the minister goes, you would think, well, maybe maybe one or two extension officers should go. Maybe the PS should go. You know, that kind of thing. The director of agriculture, depending on what the meeting is about. Maybe it's about fisheries. Okay, the head of fisheries. You see where I'm going with this. I think a lot of times it's not necessary for the minister. I'm not being presumptuous, but I just think sometimes it's not necessarily for the minister to go, especially when you have,
and that is true.
Especially when you have a full plate of portfolios to juggle, right?
Yeah, and especially when
you have people taking care of.
You're really there for a short period. I would imagine the public servant who is more tenured, those are the ones who are going to be involved in continuing and advising on policies, okay? And so you would think that they are the ones who are more...
the technocrats would be the ones who would be doing that kind of heavy lifting, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so I mean, they should at least review and coordinate travel. To me, there's no reason why half of the cabinet should be out at the same time, you know. Exactly. And there's also no reason why there should be large entourages. You know, that I guess that's where your comment comes in, joyriding.
Yes,
unless comes in, you know?
Unless the large entourages are like I was just saying. Let's say if it's agriculture, you say, okay, maybe we should take 2-3 extension officers and let's take, you know, that kind of thing. I totally.
But there's also the fact that meetings have changed significantly. You know, have Zoom meetings. Yes. You know, that sort of thing, which we perfected during COVID. Right?
Exactly, I was about to say that. Exactly.
So right. So it really, you think that it's really not all that necessary for some of these trips. And of course, the bottom line is, you know, the public expect reports and so on to come back. And that which again suggests that you don't have to have large entourages, because if one or two people go to a meeting and comes back with a comprehensive report, it's just as effective as the others going.
Exactly.
You know, so yeah, they should look at it and make sure that, you know, we get the bang for the buck.
Exactly.
That's the long and short. If we keep going to meetings and nothing is coming back,
if it's a sustainable, if it's a sustainable fishing seminar, whatever, the minister doesn't need to go. The person who's in charge of that should go, and maybe one person from his office. I mean, I don't think, you know.
Yeah, there definitely should be more coordination in terms of these things. Not every ministry and minister doing their own thing, so to speak. You know.
Exactly. So.
Yeah. So I still would not have used your term. But
I know, but
I understand. I understand where you're going.
Hey, listen! If you get into politics, it comes with the territory. Don't get your underwear in a bunch over people pointing out the obvious things you may be doing wrong. You know?
Yeah. Perfectly right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and I mean, I try not to be mean. I think I'm pretty fair, but I point things out, and maybe it comes across harsh. But hey. Life is harsh, and so am I sometimes. Yeah, like I said, you don't like it, take me off the radio. That's Voices for today. It's 1:35. I enjoyed mixing it up with you guys, and there's certain people don't like the way I speak, but I'm gonna be me. I'm not gonna change for anyone. The end.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WIN FM.